I have these basket patterns here, and of course they belong to Tom Crede, my old neighbor that died. He taught me how to make these things. And sure, just looking at the patterns, some of the ones that there are. I've made this one. I'm really not fond of it. In my opinion, it's too simple. For many people, it might be very difficult. The problem with this basket here is it being perfectly round. You have to use a hardwood, or like a slinky, it just unfolds itself. I'm not really fond of this one. You need some more going on here than that. And I made this one time for someone I wasn't too pleased with it. This one here is probably one of the next two, actually two I've made the most of. And I've made my own designs too. These are the basic ones you're going to see. This one has a lot of scroll work. The inside is a little more linear, so it works really well. What I'm really not fond of on this one is when you make them, you have to cut all this out, obviously, and sand it. And you can't really get in some of these little tiny places and sand that well. And if you're using a really beautiful wood, it kind of takes away from it. You know, you get the curve of the wood and the colors of the grain. And what I really like is this one here. And despite the looks, it's actually the most complicated basket to make. This one is extremely difficult. I'm telling you. I mean, on a level of where you're cutting at an angle and you're going in these lines here, and you have to have it not only at that angle as you turn, but you also have to take into account that as you get in here, it's going to start bouncing on you. Really, really tough, especially in some of these areas like this. So what I do in this circumstance is I curve all this around. Just keep it real simple, and it's very zen. It's very, very beautiful that way. So some of the patterns that I have, Tom did a lot of these. This was his favorite. I've done one where I expand it and make it bigger, and I make it longer. That's worked out really well. I made that for a friend for their wedding. This one here, though, is my favorites. I haven't made this one in a long time. If you make any little mistake on this one, it really shows up, and that's the problem with this one. But I might just make one. I'm debating on it. It's been a couple years since I've made one, and you know, you have to just have the right nerve for it, and you have to have the right equipment. I got these saw blades here. They're Bosch, and they're made in America, believe it or not. And it says they're made in America. They might be better than the other ones I had. I'd used German blades before. I really was fond of the German blades. They held up a lot better. They were tempered right, and then they started making them in Mexico. And the Sears, when they started making them in Mexico, it just got really crappy. I mean, I'd break them like one after another, and I was like, these are not cheap. And before I'd go through like one blade and make 3 baskets, and now I got to some of them, I'd go through 2 packs of blades to make a basket. So